Hello everybody, my name is Steven Woodson and you're watching Nerd Chat. It's been a while since I've done a video update. I'm sorry for that. It's personally my fault. I've been too busy doing work stuff and then trying to get ready for school, which will take even more of my time away. I'm trying to get into a college out of town, so that's just beside the point. Anyway, this video is going to be my introduction to seasonal video updates. And what I was going to do was I was just going to change the intro just a tad bit. I was going to change the intro just a tad bit, as you saw in the video. And then do a seasonal themed episode. Like for for instance, this episode, as you can see from the title, is going to be my first top 10 episode. Yes. What these top 10 episodes are going to be is basically me telling you what my top 10 in a certain category. Like, for instance, this one is top 10 fun but hard ice levels. From different genres, different games, all kinds of stuff. While I'm talking about the subject at hand, I will play the music for that level, or world, or whatever. Just so you can get a kind of an instance of how the level was handled and laid out, and yeah. Don't worry about it. Anyway, alright, let's start with number 10. Number 10, I chose Cool Cool Mountain from Super Mario 64. From the Nintendo 64, if you can guess. Anyway. I chose Cool Cool Mountain for number 10, mainly because Cool Cool Mountain was a vertical world where if you were on the top of the level, most of the time your goal was at the bottom and you would have to traverse through the entire level, like pretty much every Super Mario 64 level in the game. Luckily they had warp points throughout the level to help you kind of get through it faster, but still, it was just not as fun and not as hard as ice levels are supposed to be. Plus, it didn't have very many ice physics, which I know as a gamer myself, I hate ice physics in games because it means you'll be walking good on the snow, and then you get to the ice, and then you start slipping. And when you stop, you slide. And it's just really not that good. Anyway, number 9. For number 9, I chose Snow Peak. Or I think it's Snow Peak Ruins, I believe. Yeah, Snow Peak Ruins from Twilight Princess. This was actually a mansion in Twilight Princess, and I think I got the name wrong. I'm not exactly sure. If I did, I'll put something on the screen. Snow Peak was one of the later levels in the game. To make a long story short, you're looking for the key to get the late game, to collect the late game item But however, the late game, the only person who knows where this item is and is willing to tell you is sick, and she can't think straight. So she leads you on a wild goose chase all throughout the manor, and you've got ice enemies and freezers and mini freezers, ice keys, white wolf foes, and to top it all off, ice physics. The reason why I didn't label it higher on my list, mainly was because it was a mansion, to tell you the truth. It wasn't exactly a full-blown ice level. The only hard part about it was the climb up there, to tell you the truth. That was mainly the hardest part of the game, of the area. The boss too, if you know what you're doing, including the mini boss. I remember when I first played the game myself, the trip up there, up to the level itself, was pretty fun. I'm not going to spoil it in case you haven't played the game or haven't seen it, but the boss and the mini boss of the area was really difficult. I actually died like several times just trying to beat the boss and mini boss. So, but once you know what you're doing, it's not that hard, to tell you the truth. It's mediocre at best. Anyway, number 8. Number 8, I chose Ocarina of Time's Ice Cavern. This is actually one of Nintendo's first attempts to create a 3D ice area. However, I'm glad Nintendo didn't actually continue with the ice area with an ice-themed dungeon. However, they did do an ice-themed room in the final area of Ocarina of Time. But the ice cavern kind of got into typical Zelda style dungeon crawling from the bird's eye view of handheld system games. Some of their older titles, they're 2D older titles. You push a block and it goes flying across the room, pretty much. That was pretty much the puzzles. They did introduce something that came in later within another dungeon. I'm not going to tell you exactly what. Just so you know, this area was filled with backtracking throughout the dungeon, filled with ice physics. The reason why I didn't put it higher is because it's mainly Zelda style puzzle solving to get you ready for the water temple, which is just pure hell as is. Anyway, number 7. Number 7, I chose Snowhead Temple from Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask was originally an attempt to create a add-on for the Ocarina of Time game. For Ocarina of Time, during a temporary system over in Japan. I'm not going to get into it here. I will talk about it in a future video if you all want. But the when Majora's Mask was released, Snowhead Temple was the bane of my existence, pretty much, and my dad's as well when he was playing it. there was, in the main room of the dungeon, you had this large pillar, and you had to break these ice blocks in a certain order, or you'll never get, or you have to go all the way down to the bottom of the room, and it was a very tall room. You had to go all the way to the bottom of the room, reset the pillar, then backtrack throughout the entire dungeon, get to the get to the button that was to reset, to set the entire puzzle again so you can break it and find the correct order to break the ice blocks, pretty much. The reason why this wasn't labeled higher was also because of it's a typical Zelda style mini dungeon. It's a typical style Zelda ice dungeon where you're just solving problems. We're just solving puzzles throughout the entire game. It's not hard, and just if you know what you're doing, then it's not hard at all. Anyway, number 6. Number 6, I chose every ice cave that Pokemon has ever had since Generation 2. The reason why I didn't go Generation 1, I didn't say since Generation 1, was because Pokemon introduced the Ice type in Generation 2. With only a small handful, now it's like, 30 Pokemon now? I don't know. No wait. Was it in the first generation? I don't know. Anyway, the Pokemon Ice Caves are pretty much slip and slide. It's basically a slip and slide, push this rock, strength puzzle. Strength HM puzzle, pretty much. So, yeah. Those were pretty hard, and the reason why it's not above the 5 point is because they're not very fun, to tell you the truth. But you get a chance to capture some wild ice Pokemon if you really want to. I don't know how effective they are in battle because I've never used an ice type in my personal teams, so that's why. Anyway, number 5. For number 5, I chose the ice area of Metroid Prime, the first game in the Metroid Prime trilogy, pretty much. The reason why I chose this one was because I kind of like the theme of the entire area. It continues with the theme from the hub area of the planet that you're on. It's pretty much all ruined out. There's a few hard enemies to kill. Not anything too bad if you know how the game is run. But all in all, it's pretty complex. It's hard but fun, and this is one of the first ones that actually includes both functions of an ice level that I like to look for. Anyway, number 4. Number 4, I chose Sherbert Land from Mario Kart 64. Sherbert Land I love because it resembles an actual track. However, there is ice physics on the track There are also obstacles for you to try to hit and miss. But all in all, it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. There's a cave within it, like it's supposed to be a tunnel. There's penguins on there. They kind of resemble cones. But there is no, if you've ever played Mario Kart 64, in which case if you haven't, then what's wrong with you, pretty much. But if you remember right, Sherbert Land has a pool of ice water right in the center. And if you drift too much, you will fall right into that ice water, and you will be taken all the way to the back of the pack, pretty much. And it's hell to get up back up front. Trust me, I know. Anyway, number 3. You may recognize the music that's playing right now. Number 3 is Freezy Easy Peak from Banjo-Kazooie. I love Freezy Easy Peak. It actually kind of introduces a character that I kind of have a love-hate relationship with. It introduces the character, let's see, Boggy, I believe? I can't remember. It introduces a polar bear into the game, and this polar bear comes back in the second game, and I don't know if he comes back in Nuts and Bolts. I've never completed the game myself. I've seen a playthrough of it online, but I really don't know exactly. But anyway, the music is lighthearted, as you can hear. It kind of gives into that Christmassy feel to it. I don't know if that's what you like about a level, but it doesn't have as much ice physics as it does freezing water, pretty much. And you have to have the world's transformation to be able to traverse into the water and get all the collectibles. Pretty fun. Pretty much it. Anyway, number 2. Number 2, I've chosen Ice Cap. Preferably the last little bit of Sonic's playthrough of Sonic Adventures, of the first Sonic Adventures game. If you don't know Sonic Adventures, it was released for the Nintendo Dreamcast, not the Nintendo, the Sega Dreamcast, and then later on the Nintendo GameCube called the Sonic Adventures DX, which used the Game Boy Advanced link up with the console, and I think it was Sonic Advanced series for the Game Boy Advanced, to be able to transfer a Chao over from the garden to your cartridge. But that's not what we're here to talk about. I'll talk about that if you all want again later. But Ice Cap was pretty much at the first part was traversing through the level as slow as you can, pretty much, because if you don't go slow, you will fall and you will have to restart the entire area all over again, or climb back up. But I love this area, and the reason why it's number 2 is because of the second half of the game, second half of the level, which Sonic does and Tails does. It's a snowboarding area, and you are trying to race down the mountain to get past the avalanche, it's falling right behind you. And in Tails, you're doing the same. You're pretty much doing the same thing, except you're also racing Sonic as well. So I like that. I just personally like that. I like the race. I like those kind of races in it. But anyway, now for the final one. For number 1. For number 1, I chose DK Island from Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I think it's for the Nintendo Wii U, I believe. Yeah. The reason why I chose this was because of, I think, the selection screen theme. Or it could be the opening theme, I don't know. But I love the concept of DK Island for Tropical Freeze. The first level is pretty much the first entire world of the original Donkey Kong Country Returns game. And every level in Tropical Freeze's last area is pretty much a reminiscence of pretty much reminiscing from the last game. So I love that. I just love that idea. And Nintendo hit the nail on the head on this level. Anyway, now that I've gone through my top 10 ice levels, my top 10 hard but fun ice levels, what I want you all to do in the comment section below on Facebook, and if I can remember to do it, I'll send you a link on Facebook to my Twitter account if I can, or in the description below. In the description below. On either Facebook and soon to be Twitter. And here on YouTube, put a link. Describe your hard but fun ice levels. It could be from any company, any game, any level, or a particular level title from any game. And put it in order from 10 being not so fun but hard, to number 1 being the ultimate ice level that you can think of. And in my next top 10, if I can find, if anybody has done so, I will before the actual episode starts, I'll put a screen. I'll try to capture a screenshot and show you the comment if you all will let me. I'll shoot you a message on either Facebook or here on YouTube if I can remember how to do so. And we'll just go from there. Alright. I hope you enjoyed my first top 10 episode. I'm sorry it's late. Again, I had a lot of work stuff to do this winter season because of Christmas right there. And when I wasn't working, I was at home relaxing for the day, not even thinking about Nerd Chat. And if you have any, and like I said in my last update, if you have any requests for any videos that you want me to do, any topic you want me to talk about, or any top 10 topic you want me to look for and do research on, let me know in the comment section below. I will be making a list of the most requested topics, and I will see if I can do them. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank Thank you all for watching and have a good day.